we're always looking for new ideas for chicken, and I'm using the Simply Better corn-fed chicken, and I'm going to do a lovely recipe with some lemon, a little bit of balsamic, so we're going to call it a lemon and balsamic glazed chicken with some lovely Irish potatoes. So first thing we need to do is seal off the chicken, and then I'll show you a lovely little dressing. When I cook any kind of meat or fish, I always use some nice Irish rapeseed oil, or you can use some olive oil if you want to, and I put a little bit of butter. So just to remind you, I'm sure I've said this a lot of times, the oil stops the butter from burning. Because butter doesn't have a high smoke temperature, it'll burn very easily. So just literally run that around the pan. The butter will give so much flavour, and that's one thing we do really well in Ireland, is our butter, our dairy, is just second to none. So this is the corn-fed chicken, so it's fed on maize. Okay, we're going to put it skin side down, and then we're going to season it on the pan. So I'm going to just pop that on there. Some salt and a little bit of black pepper. And I'm going to show you a herb that works really well when you're pan frying, even fish, chicken, steak, fresh thyme. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'm going to pop it in a minute, not yet. I'm going to use a little bit for my dressing. So I'm just going to literally take off the little leaves, and then with the stalks, we don't waste anything. We're going to put them onto the pan with the chicken, because there's lots of flavour there. So if you're making your homemade stock or anything like that, use that. The stalks of thyme are full of flavour. Now, just literally break the thyme a little bit and literally pop it onto the pan. You'll hear it crackling, don't be worrying about that. And don't be tempted to turn the chicken too quickly. We want to get a little bit of colour, but we're going to caramelise it in a minute. Okay, so into this recipe, I'm going to use my big spoon. We're going to use 2 of the balsamic vinegar. So it's a very, very simple dressing. We're going to use some of this really nice Cajun spice. You can use harissa, you can use a little bit of curry powder. So I'm going to use a small amount of this. Now there's a bit of a kick to this. So this is all organic. It's produced from Oco, and they're a company based in Athlone. Their spices are absolutely brilliant. So 1 teaspoon I think is enough. If you like spices, you can put in a couple. That's absolutely fine. Before I add in the honey, I'm going to just turn around the chicken. You can see that beautiful caramelization there. Gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to turn down the pan because I don't want to cook it on the pan. It's going to go into the oven. Some lemon zest. So a little bit of lemon zest, and then we need some juice and we need some honey. So I'll just put a small amount of lemon juice into this, using my reamer, and then some honey. So I'll put a couple of spoonfuls of honey. That's 1 teaspoon and another one. Now if you think it's a little bit too sweet, you can always add more balsamic into it. I think it needs 1 more just by looking at it. So that's 3 of the balsamic I put in. I know you have the lemon, but you don't want it too sweet, definitely not. Okay, you could put in soy, you could put in chili, you could mix it up. So onto the pan, I'm literally going to pour on this beautiful syrup, and I'm going to drizzle it all over. So you have your lovely spices, the Cajun spice. This is such a simple, quick recipe. So that can be lovely on its own like that, but what we're going to do is we're going to bake it and finish it in the oven. I already have one in. So these are some beautiful Irish garlic roasting potatoes, and they're from Balsamic farm. They're in County Louth. So you have 2 different varieties here. And what comes with these, very, very clever, is a little container of Irish rapeseed oil and some garlic. A little bit of garlic puree. So I've kind of cut them down. I'm going to be truthful with you because I want them to be cooked. You know, sometimes they come, because they're all hand cut by the way. And we're going to drizzle this beautiful oil and garlic over. Now them on their own is gorgeous, but what we're going to do, you're going to see now, we're going to turn the chicken, and we're going to put the chicken on top. Now the chicken is still raw. I'm going to turn this up. See the way it's kind of caramelizing a little bit, which is absolutely perfect. So I've seasoned it up with salt and pepper. I'm just going to put a little bit of salt just onto the potatoes, and they look really pretty. They're fantastic Irish producers. Hard to beat the humble potato, which I think is so versatile, and we do love our potatoes in Ireland, which is great. So see the stalks and all that, we're using all that, we're not wasting any of it. There's lots of flavour in there, so there is. So now we're going to literally put this on top, kind of nestle it in a little bit. These chicken breasts will shrink a little bit, but they're absolutely full of flavour and delicious. And then with this gorgeous glaze, just pour that all over the chicken. Don't worry about the time. we could just pull that down. So we're going to put this into the oven. We've already seasoned everything. 180 is the temperature. I have already one ready, and what we did was just literally leave it there for about 25-30 minutes until the chicken is cooked and the potatoes are cooked. So it's really important that you cut down the potatoes because you've already sealed in the chicken. So don't be tempted to cook the chicken too much. So I have one done here, and you'll see this. So it's a fan oven. Any temperatures I give you is always for a fan oven. So I'm just going to show you this here. We're going to serve this with a little bit of chopped parsley. What I always like to do, so let's just have a little look close. It's caramelized, and that's what I want. That beautiful succulent chicken and that gorgeous kind of sauce. So that's what's came from that lovely dressing that we did in the pan. So the potatoes, just getting a little bit of a knife just to check that they're done. I'm going to literally move these, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of parsley. I'm going to show you just how to chop a little bit of curly parsley. Usually I'm using some flat leaf, so I'm using curly here today. Roll up your fingers, and then just literally rock it over and back. So make sure your parsley is nice and clean. That's really important. And then just rock it over and back. So you have fresh thyme there. You have also some lovely dried herbs in the Cajun spice. So you have a little bit of a kick. So you have lovely sweet, sour, and lemon and chicken. Works really well. And then you have the garlic puree. Don't forget that from in that lovely dressing for the potatoes. So you have a lovely combination of flavour. So literally just sprinkle that. Put that at the centre of the table. Let everyone help themselves. What will I serve with that? Maybe peas, some buttered peas. Keep it simple if you want to, or maybe a little bit of broccoli would be gorgeous. But I think you need some kind of vegetable. But I think all that lovely sauce, that syrup is gorgeous, and the key to it is that really good, beautiful Irish chicken. So that's a very, very simple lemon and balsamic glazed chicken with those beautiful Balsamic potatoes. Enjoy this really, really tasty dish.